In July, I went from sobbing at a prayer for Owen Meany to binging a sci-fi about a space robot who loves to watch drama. Come into my garden and we'll talk about everything I read in July. Hi, I'm Sam, and I love to talk about reading. On Chapters with Sam, I talk about whatever I've been reading. This month, it includes fantasy, sci-fi, classic literature, and nonfiction. Let's get into it. In the last month, I read about 12 books, six actually reading physical books, six were in audiobook format because I just could not wait to finish Murderbot. However, I only annotated 4 of my physical books. I'm not doing annotation on every book, and sometimes I just want to read and enjoy. I will put timestamps in the description, so if you're looking for a specific book, you can just jump right to that one. The first book that I read since my last wrap up was The Spellshop by Beth Durst, and I really enjoyed this book. It's only the second cozy fantasy I ever read, and I truly do appreciate this genre. I'm going to have a lot of fun reading more. I know I'm a bit late to the cozy fantasy party, but that just means that I have more to read. I did do an episode on the Spellshop, which I will link here, but long story short, I really enjoyed it. It's about a librarian in a world where most people aren't allowed to do magic, and she has to escape from this library with a magic book and winds up doing magic and is worried about getting caught and is worried about being able to help others with her magic. I did rank it 4.5 stars. I couldn't put it down, and I had a lot of fun with it. After the Spellshop, I read The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And I was a bit intimidated. I haven't read a classic since high school, probably, which was a long time ago. But Dorian Gray was very interesting. I love how descriptive Oscar Wilde is. I thought that it was interesting that he kind of leaves the interpretation of the book open. I don't feel like we do that as much in modern literature, and the language was a little daunting at first, but you get used to it as you keep on reading. It's about a person who makes a wish that he could always look as young and beautiful and untouched by time as this portrait of him, and the wish comes true. It's definitely creepy and dark and very enjoyable to read. I highly recommend it. I gave it a 4-star rating out of 5. So yeah, Picture of Dorian Gray. Good book. So after Dorian Gray, I read The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and it was enjoyable. The premise is like It's a Wonderful Life, but in library format. This woman is in between life and death, and she gets to see what her life would have been like if she made other choices, which is a wonderful premise for a movie. I love, or book, or whatever. I love sliding doors, the butterfly effect. It's a cool premise. But for some reason, The Midnight Library didn't quite land with me, and I only gave it 3.5 stars out of 6. The prose is good. It's well written, and like I said, I like the plot. There was something about it that didn't sit quite well. So 3.5 out of 5 stars. After I read The Midnight Library, I started A Prayer for Owen Meany. I had actually mentioned that I had read it in high school in my second episode, and I wanted to read it again as an adult. I wanted to see if it would affect me emotionally the same way it did when I was a teenager, and it absolutely did. I sobbed hard, ugly crying in the exact same 2 parts I remember crying at when I was a teen. It hit home. It's very emotional. It's wonderful how the foreshadowing and all of the pieces come together. John Irving is an amazing writer, and I definitely need to pick up more of his books. So I will have to do that in the future, but for now, know that A Prayer for Owen Meany is an absolutely amazing book and deserves at least 4.5 stars, if not 5. Yeah, I just checked. I had it as 5 stars. I love this book. It made me cry so hard. I'm not going to say where because spoilers, but if you want to be emotionally wrecked, if emotional damage is what you're looking for from a book, then A Prayer for Owen Meany is definitely for you. So after my emotional damage, I decided to go a little bit lighter and read a nonfiction book. The main point of Steal Like an Artist is that nothing is actually original. Everything's been done before, but it's okay because people weren't paying attention the first time. So if you say it again, it's totally fine. If you say it better, it's even better. So Steal Like an Artist is about how you can take creative concepts or even just regular concepts about how other people live their life or do their work or whatever, and incorporate it into something that you want. Take what works for you, throw the rest away. It's kind of freeing to have that permission, I guess. It's truly enjoyable. It's a super easy to read nonfiction book and 4 stars out of 5. After Feel Like an Artist, I started reading the Murderbot Diaries. And I started with this book, which is the first 2 novellas. I was having a hard time getting into it, so what I did was I wound up downloading the audiobook and I started listening while reading. And I got hooked 100%. The narrator is so deadpan, and it is such a funny, sarcastic, fun, but still high stake adventure that I absolutely adore. Murderbot is a construct that is a part human, part robot hybrid, and he is essentially a killing machine. He's a sec unit, so he's made for security. The combat units are full-on killing machines, but the sec units are made to protect people, from alien things, whatever. And Murderbot decides to watch soap operas. Just TV dramas are what really makes this character move forward, and he is awesome. And I can't really talk about the whole series because they build on each other, but I couldn't stop listening to these. They are so fun. I absolutely recommend them. My All Systems Red, the first one, was definitely the weakest of all of them, but they're all a lot of fun. And I'm really sorry about this loud bird. What's up? So the first one, I feel All Systems Red was weaker than the rest of them. I gave that one 3 stars out of 5, but the rest are solid 4s, and they are fun and enjoyable. So definitely, if you haven't tried Murderbot yet, it's been out around for a while, but it's wonderful. You really need to try it if you're into sarcasm. That is what I've read since the last wrap up. I was concerned, as I said it in my first wrap up, I'm a mood reader, and I was worried that having this to be read list would give me problems, but it didn't. It really didn't. I did miss Encyclopedia of Fairies, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, but that's just because Murderbot consumed me. Let's move on to what I want to read in August. And I had a list planned out just like I did for July, and then I came up with this really fun idea for genre exploration and how to do video series off of it. So that's coming up. You will see it soon. Stay tuned, subscribe so that you can be a part of it because it's going to be lots of fun. But anyway, I had to rearrange my entire reading list, and I don't even have most of the books physically here right now because I haven't had a chance to buy them yet. But I do have some of them here, and once again, I'm going to give the disclaimer that I am not necessarily going to manage to read all of these books, and we're just going to have to see what happens. However, here is the plan. Red Rising. I've actually started it already, and I'm going to do a reading vlog on it, so that will be coming up in a couple episodes. Stay tuned for that as well. Red Rising is about a teenager who is in the lowest slave caste of a society, and his wife is killed, and he wants to make her dream of letting their people have a better place in society. He wants to make her dream come true. So he turns into a gold and tries to become one of their leaders. It has so many great reviews. A lot of people on BookTube love it. I'm on like page 150 right now. I cannot wait to keep going. Very exciting. I might have to turn it into a series because it's a trilogy. We'll see. Anyway, Red Rising. Super excited about this one. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Like I said, it's on my list. I have it in hand. I have not had a chance to read it yet. It's a cute, cozy fantasy, which will tie in a little bit, I think, to romance. I'm going to try to do like fantasy romance first because that's my comfort zone. I love fantasy. So I'm going to use it as a stepping stone into other genres when possible. But Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, I've heard good things. It's cozy, it's cute. I am interested. I can't wait. I'm going to step over here so I can put it up on the screen. A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm not super into romantasy, but like I said, I'm trying out new genres. And my first step into romance is through fantasy because I already know that I like fantasy. Like I'm going to read Fourth Wing because at least if I don't like the romance aspect, at least there's dragons. So I figure it's a good first step. So I'm going to read The Fourth Wing and I'm going to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I do not know much about it except that Sarah J. Maas is super popular and it should give me a decent idea of how romantasy goes. I was told A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches was a cute, cozy fantasy that had romance in it. So that's another one that I'm going to try to read. And I've heard that The Night and the Moth is a great romantasy, so I'm going to also try to fit that one in. I've also heard that there's a romance aspect to this book, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and I've seen a few reviews of it. I am absolutely here for it's not cozy, it's not romantasy, but it's another fantasy that has romance in it, and I'm going to try to check it out. If I succeed in reading all of those before my next wrap up, I do still have one more that is on my physical to be read, which is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I read it as a teenager. The movie came out last year, and although the musical and the book are vastly different stories, it did inspire me to reread it. And with the second part of the movie coming out towards the end of this year, I'm really excited to read it and match the vibes because I love Wicked. So if you've made it this far, then I implore you to like and subscribe because you obviously love me enough to stay through this long video. So please do that and let me know if you have any recommendations or what your favorite book that you read in July was. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!